Hey guys, Dylan here, or some of you can call me eValuatee. I'm here today to show you a quick tutorial on how to use Photoshop. So, Photoshop is a software made by Adobe for photo and GFX creating type of stuff that you want to do. This is CS5 at the moment. There is to be Photoshop CS6, which is coming very soon. But at the moment it's in beta, so I won't go into that right now. So when you open up Photoshop for the first time, you'll come up to like a blank area without this image here that I've got. To open up an image or to make a new image, you'll firstly go up to File, and then you'll go New or Open. So let's say we want to make a new GFX type thing that you want to make. So we'll go to New. Then here you've got your settings. You've got what you want to name it, your preset, which we don't want to worry about now. So this is where you can make your sizing. I tend to make most of my images in 180p if I'm doing something quite large, because that's probably a pretty good baseline that you want to use. So let's do that now. So we'll make our width 1920 and our height 180. And then you've got all this down here we don't need to worry about at the moment, so we'll just go OK. And as you see, it makes a new page, a new tab up the top with your new 180p blank canvas, which you can do your work on. So we'll go back to our parrot image. This is 180p as well. So first, as you can see, we've got three main areas of Photoshop view, if you want to call it that, or UI, that's a better word. So we've got the main tool area. This is where you've got all your tools, all the main tools that you can use, and you've got your color sachets. Let me say that again, color swatches, sorry, which you can use for changing colors, of course. So we've got those main tools there, and then along the top you've got your drop down menus, which are mainly just for settings and stuff. We'll go into that a bit later. And then also underneath that you've got this toolbar of settings. Now with this, each tool you select below along here will give you different settings that you can change up here. So let's select the brush tool here, and as you can see, the settings changed. Now you can edit these settings, like you can change the blend mode, the opacity, the flow. You can change all that up there. So let's go to let's go to the eraser, and same type of thing. It changes to different settings, but you get what I mean. So, and then the other area of menu would be along the right side. So here you've got your layers, which you'll have listed down here. So each new layer you make will be listed here. And then above that you've got your adjustments. So if you're editing a photo like this one, we can change some of the adjustments. So let's go into brightness and contrast. See down here, adds a new layer, and up here we've got the settings for that layer. So we can change the brightness up. Let's put it about 27, and then might bring down the contrast to yeah, we'll bring the contrast down to about -38. So as you can see, we've made a new layer, a new adjustment layer to change the photo settings. So let's go back, and we can choose some different settings. So let's go to hue and saturation. As you see, it makes another layer again, another adjustment layer. And here we can change some general color settings, so we can looking a bit weird, but anyway. So we can bring that down to there. Saturation we might bring down a bit, and then the lightness will bring up, down maybe actually. So actually let's change the hue a bit. Let's bring the hue back, and we'll bring the saturation up a bit, and yeah, it looks pretty good. So let's go back again. So if we ever wanted to, so you can make as many layers of these as you want to change different settings and stuff. So let's go back over to the toolbar, and we'll look over some of the tools. So the first tool we've got here is the move tool, as listed below the mouse. You can also press V on your keyboard to select it, so we'll do that now. This gives you the move tool, which you can move different images around on whatever you're editing. So at the moment our layer is just a background, okay, so we can't really do anything with it. So let's duplicate that layer so we've got something to move around. So here we go, so we've duplicated it. Now with this tool up here, keep it selected, we just hold down and then we drag, and we can move it to wherever we want, as you can see. So we'll put that right back. So that's that. Now let's move on to the next one. We've got the rectangular marquee tool, which you can also press M to get to on your keyboard. Just a tip, whenever you're mousing over a tool, leave it there for a while and then it'll come up with the name and the letter you press on your keyboard to access it, or you can just use your mouse. So here we've got the marquee tool. At the moment it's set to default with the rectangular one, which you can easily just drag out and select different areas, and you can move the selection around and all that type of stuff, just general stuff. You can also delete the area selected, so since we've got two layers we're able to do that. So we'll have the top layer selected and then we'll press the delete key on our keyboard and it's deleted that area, but you can't see because the background is the same image. So we'll take that background off for a second, and now as you can see we've deleted that selected part of the image. So we'll undo that by pressing Ctrl Z on PC or Command Z on Mac. And to unselect an item, just press Ctrl D or Command D on Mac, and that will unselect it. Under the marquee tool you also have, so you can right click and then you'll come up with different tools you can use under the marquee tool. So we've got the elliptical, single row, and then single column. So with the elliptical, does as it says, same thing but circular. Control D to unselect that, and same thing for the row ones. It's more of just a single pixel selection if we wanted to, let's say, delete a single pixel like that, which you don't really need to do. Undo that. So underneath those, reselect rectangular because I use that the most. So under that you've got the lasso tool, which you can also press L on your keyboard to access. So under the lasso tool, right click it again and it will come up with different selections. You can use the polygon or the magnetic. At the moment we'll stick with lasso, and it's practically the same as a marquee tool except you can freeform it. So you can draw whatever you want, big blob, and then bring it back to the start and it will make a selection for you in that shape, which is quite handy. So we'll just Control or Command D that. Underneath that you've got the quick selection tool, which is quite handy if you're wanting to select something quickly, but you have to make sure it's a definitive area, that something stands out. So like we'll select all that orange because the orange stands out, so it selects it automatically for you. So with that we can delete that area. Same thing as the marquee tool. So we'll Control Z that, get that back. So underneath, so you can also right click on that and you can get the magic wand tool, which does kind of the same thing, just a bit more advanced. It senses out shadows and all that type of stuff, which we don't need at the moment. So underneath that you've got the crop tool, which is quite handy if you want to crop an image. So we'll just, kind of the same as the marquee tool again, just drag it out and then we'll bring up these editable corners for you, and we can very easily crop what we want. So you just press enter and then it will crop it to the size image you want, or you press Control Z to that again. So as you can see we've got this menu up top as well, which you can set out your width and height if you want to get something precise. So that's in pixels, by the way. If you want to, you can do front, if you select front image while you've got something selected, so we'll select that. Right, sorry, we'll Control Z that. So you click front image, right? And then once you select something and press enter, it will resize it up for you, so it won't change the resolution, but you will lose a bit of quality in doing that. But if you wanted to, yes, it can resize up to the same size as your original image. So we'll control, is that that? Underneath that you've got the little dropper tool, the eyedropper tool, which you can use to select different colors. Now as you can see here, you can click wherever you want onto the image, like let's get this nice bright orange, sorry, and then you can see down here on your color swatches it shows the color that you just selected. So let's select a blue, and then as you can see that color comes up there for you to use, which is quite handy. So that's that. You've also got the healing band-aid type tool, the healing brush tool, which, let's say, oh, we don't like that little twig bit there hanging off. We can just, whoopsie daisies. So we need to alt click, sorry. So you have to select another area of the image that you want to replace that little twig bit. So let's select this green area up here while holding down alt. So just click there, and then now it's set an area, and now we just rub out that little twig, and as you can see there, it's used the background area that we selected to cover up that little twig that we didn't want there, which is really handy. Now underneath that you've got the brush tool, which is one of those things that is good for GFX artists if you're into that.